Welcome to Home is Where It's Parked. This is a video about the van build. Tiger completely built this van by himself from just a shell. This is his second van he has built, and the bus is going to be his third project. The van is really comfortable and fun to drive and explore. He explains each step, but since there's so much more to the van that he has put in extra, we will be doing more videos to showcase the rest, like the 2-shower system and how he got the seats to swivel on both seats. If you like this video, please make sure you follow for more. I want you to talk to us about your van build. I know that you did this all by yourself, so take us through the tour.
So I picked up an 012 Chevy Express, regular cargo van, and I knew that the only way I could make it right is if I could swivel both seats, and they were too expensive to buy them, so I figured out a way to swivel the seat. So what I did is you notice down here, I took two 16 by 16 inch plates and I bolted one onto the bottom of the seat frame and one onto the top of the mount. And I offset my center hole, and then I can turn this around. Right, and I can do the same thing with the driver's seat, and it makes a huge difference. And then maybe we'll go in a clockwise direction, of what happened here, or what I did. So then I put a hot water heater, an on-demand hot water heater in, and I wanted to have so that we could get a shower inside or outside. So the way we do it outside, this is my old cereal bowl when I was a kid. This goes out here and sits right there. And then we just open the valve and on it comes. And the hot water heater kicks in because it's on demand, and that covers our outside shower. Then we come back in here, and over here we've got the oven. I had to have an oven and I couldn't fit it anywhere. So I got a Camp Chef oven, and there's our stove at the top, and a nice oven that heats up to 400 degrees. Pizzas, you name it. Goes out of the way. And then I've got several drawers here, which lock with this little slider door I put in. That locks them into place. Now this way here, I'm 6 foot, and the bed is just 6 feet, so it's not enough to lay this way. I thought it would be. So then afterwards, I had to come up with a way to extend the bed. So I installed this 1/4 inch polished aluminum checker plate, and it locks in here and here. And then I take this little guy here, and I put it right there. I take my bungee cord, and it wraps around and holds it in. So now we can sleep this way, and we got 7 feet from that end to this end. All right. Then just back up. Then we come over to here. Okay, come on over here. And we've got a fan in here. Just a typical Sirocco fan. That makes a big difference when you're sleeping. You can swivel it any way you want. And then under here, you don't see it, there's a 200 amp hour battery that's powered by the 340 watt solar panel on the roof. And that runs these 120 volt units like the fan. Right, we sleep with the fan. Then I can turn it off here. And then I have down here, this is my Victron Energy, the battery management system. But I have 2 sources of power for the battery to charge it up. One One is the solar panel itself, and the other one, I ran a couple of number 6 wires from under the van, under the hood of the van, from the alternator back through to a disconnect, and then to the battery through a lithium ion DC to DC charger. So that's all set up. If it's raining out a lot, we don't get enough sun, you know the story. We just close that switch and away you go. Now back here, we've got all our cupboards. And by the way, this roof, this was a cargo van. And now look, it's 6'4" in here. And I went to Vancouver with the van after I got it. And they installed the fiberglass high top. They cut the old roof out, installed the fiberglass high top that they manufacture here in Canada in Vancouver. And then I took it back to Edmonton, and I took it to a guy who spray foamed, and he spray foamed the entire van. And that's why we got 1 1/4 inch of insulation on the roof. And then there's our 120 volt stuff is in there. I branch it out from there. I got my this is for clothes, whatever. I got all this space here for clothes. And these windows up here open for ventilation. And then of course we got the max air fan up here, which is great. And I just leave that on a certain setting and then I turn it on here, down here. And there it comes on. Now, of course, we got a toilet that we put a bag in. And over here, underneath this stuff, is a Martin propane vented heater, which has a thermostat on it, and it requires no power, and it vents outside. It's just a beautiful form of heat. But it only works down to -10. Anything colder than that, it's not great. And then here, this table, this chair swivels around as well. And this table, if I loosen off this screw, this table will actually, you can slide it this way, and then you can turn it for whoever's sitting there, which would be Shauna, operating the laptop. But normally it stays like that, and you can raise the height of it with this system.
And you put all new flooring in too.
Well, I put flooring in it. There was never, I put plywood down and insulation and flooring. It's just vinyl plank.
So everything was just a complete shell, right, Tiger?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah.
So you built all the, you bought the cabinets and you put them in and you did all the wiring, all the plumbing.
Right. Now back here, once this is closed up, see the awning, found an awning on Kijiji, and back here, take this little guy, and it goes up into here, and you can wind out your awning. But I'm not going to do that right now. That's the awning. And then when the arms come out, they go down to here. These are clips that came with it. And back here, some more storage. And this here is a swing hitch, so we take this and we unlatch it. And we can swing this puppy right out of the way to give us access to the back, which contains our fridge, and you can also use it as a freezer. And then over here we've got a pump, and there's a couple different ways of filling this up with water. See, there's a 20-gallon tank under there, and I got a pipe going into it from the side of the van. And that's where I fill it up, is on the side of the van. But I can go to a brook, take this pump, throw it in the brook, and then plug it in, and then I fill up the water tank over here, right in there. Okay. Now if I'm at Walmart and I can't get water from a brook, I fill up this thing here, okay, and I take my jug and I fill it up wherever. I slide that out, and then I have a pump in here, a Flow Max pump. This will go right in. This goes right into here. I go into Walmart, I fill this up, $2. I drop that in there, and then I hit the pump switch, and it empties this, and it pumps the water out the other side through this, and I put this into the side of the van over there to fill up the tank that way. So there's a couple different ways to fill it up. And then over here, we've got our ramps, and then we got our disconnect switches and all the electrical. And I just installed this. This is an openable window. I had the same as this side, and I found a window at the pick and pull, and I took it home, and I cut the old one out, and I put the new one in, and I got a new, and I have another one for this, but I don't have the rubber, but I ordered it from Chevy dealership, and it's coming in a couple of weeks. All right? And over here, we've got our, if we want to plug into shore power, we just plug into that, and that'll run an electric heater in there and a receptacle. And then this is the vent for the vented propane heater. So I just have a muffler pipe that comes out and goes up, and that drains, that takes care of the carbon monoxide. And then this side also has a swiveling seat. And that's huge because the swiveling seat, when they both turn around, if anybody lived in a van or experienced the van life at all, both seats being able to turn around changes everything. Eh?
Yeah, it opens it right up.
Changes everything. Eh?
What about the roof, Tiger?
Well, it's an insulated roof with a max air vent and a 340 watt solar panel. That's all I could fit on it. That's it. I can't fit no more on it. Now the problem with it is that the build took up, I wanted to leave as much space as I could for living space in it. So, which isn't a lot, but as much as I could. And now the problem is that I figured that back swivel hitch or swing hitch part of it with the black box was enough to take our extra stuff, but it's turning out that it's not big enough. And I'm getting to the point where I'm going over the maximum allowable weight for the van. I don't want to go past that point. So I had to beef up the suspension anyways, just for the weight that's in it, which is about 7,300 pounds. And I'm only allowed 7,500 pounds, but it's okay. But now I'm thinking I might want to pick up a little small cargo trailer so that we can take more stuff. But I'm torn between that or leaving it like it is and going minimalist. You know what I mean? Go minimalist but the beauty of it is that we'd only be taking it from Alberta to Arizona. So it's just one trip with the trailer. Then when we get to the desert where we're gonna boondock, then I can just drop the trailer and we'll have no weight on the van and we can travel around and keep our home base where the trailer is in the tent. But you gotta think about it. I don't know.
Okay.
So what do you think of that?
So what were the things about the build that you felt were excellent? That it was a really good thing now that we've toured the van?
Well, I mean, it didn't matter. It had to have certain things. It had to have running water. It had to have hot water. It had to have a shower on the inside and the outside. And it had to have the front seat swivel around. And it had to have a 7-foot bed. And that's not an extended van. That's a regular full-size van. And still maintain a ton of space on the inside as much as possible. And be able to stand up. and be able to cook inside and like shower inside and outside. So it started around that. So I had to, it was quite a process. I spent more time thinking than I did building. You know what I mean? So I'm happy with it, but it's very comfortable, and we've gone camping with it, living in it actually for 4 months once, not that long ago, and it was great. And it ended up that the only problem with it all was that we had to come back. So nobody liked that. Well, I didn't like that. You didn't like that.
No. What about, is there anything on the van built that you would change?
No. Oh, yes, there is. I would have taken the drawers, the 4 drawers there, and I would have put the fridge in there. I should have put the fridge in there in the drawers at the back and had one drawer, because it turns out you only really use one drawer on a regular basis. That could have been under the sink or beside the sink in that counter or that cabinet. But I didn't, and I can't change it now. But yeah, that's about it. Just the fridge, being inside.
Just the fridge was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm pretty proud of you for this van. You did a really great job doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
So, excellent job in your van build.